Hey everyone, Mark and Joey back here on a Friday night. We've been waiting for the PGA to finish up their rounds and get our cut show going, which we're going to do now. But first of all, I want to tell you guys that we're like expanding like crazy. As you know, we've been on the video podcast if you're watching this show before, and that's on Roku TV, that's on Vimeo.com, that's on NGSSports.com, of course, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. But our podcast stations, and now we're going to be on a audio podcast. And Joey, where are we going to be playing?
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Acast, TuneIn, Sticker, Pocket Cast, and Google.
So if you're driving to work or anywhere else where you can't do video and drive and watch, you can now download the show in audio only and to be able to listen to it anytime you're looking for it. On top of that, are really paying attention now to our website. We kind of put it up when we got started, but we're on so many channels. We haven't done a lot with the website, but we have now. We've now linked into a sports news service. So you'll see a new website. If you've been there before or you haven't, go and take a visit, ultimatesportschannel.com. We're going to have daily news in sports. We're going to have all the posts, all the things that are happening around the world of sports. And then you'll be able to find, of course, our commentary on those things, the things we think about those stories, as well as the special features we bring you that are different than everybody else. So, wow, it's just going crazy right now, and we're excited about it. But we're talking PGA tonight. We're excited about that as well because, once again, I have all my picks with a shot to win at least. And my guy is right there. Tony Finau was my number one pick. And then I had, excuse me, Hughes. And I also had
Joey Garber.
Joey Garber
and Ryan Moore.
Was the story I told you about Joey Garber and Joey playing together. And he's a -4, a little bit out, but it looks like he might have a top 20 or top 10. I told you what a good young, well, he's not young anymore, player. And so I'm glad to see he's doing so well. The other guys are -8 and 7 with a shot. It's pretty big lead right now. But the good thing on golf courses that you can score on, you can have a low day.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be a shocking to see a 62 out there. However, I want to talk about the fact that if you watch the show on Wednesday, I talked about a Canadian needing to win a second tournament. We got all these guys out there with one. And sure enough, the oldest guy, the guy we call the ATM, Adam Hadwin, who is always there but has only won one time in his career. He's always part of it. He's been inside top 50 on the FedEx Cup. Is in second place. And I'm really hoping, even though I didn't pick Adam, I'm really hoping that he wins this tournament because he's the one that's really close to do it, even though he wouldn't be my pick. But it would be great for Canada to have a guy win a second tournament, I feel.
Yeah, so I had Matsuyama too, by the way. You hogged all the attention to players. Tied 11th, tied with Finau. Now, Koepka and Jason Day away back there in 70th place, but
wait a minute.
62, they could easily go on and
so
shoot that.
What did
the
Pop
best player in the
say?
league.
I said that these guys just don't care.
And then, yes, you got a Canadian. I'm ignoring you. I don't know if you noticed. Yes, you got Canadian Adam Hadwin in second. But you talk about who he wants to win. There's a couple good stories here. Obviously, you have Adam Hadwin in second, which Canadians personal to us.
Yeah.
We also got Sam Saunders, who's tied for third right now, actually. Only 4 back, but only 2 guys ahead of him. And really, the story about him is if you watch golf at all, he doesn't have the last name. But he's Arnold Palmer's grandson. And no matter what you think, whether he deserves the attention or not, he gets it. And mostly around his grandpa's event. But still, you'll hear it probably this weekend. If you turn on the golf, they'll say Sam Saunders, Arnie's grandson, a couple times for sure. And throughout the cast, it'd be great to see him win, secure some stats, because he's a guy who's always fighting for it. So, it'd be nice for a good finish, move out the FedEx Cup, and even get a win, get 3 years exempt.
But a good guy to bring up, and it's got to be a lot of pressure, no matter what. And even though Arnie's not around anymore, it's always Arnie's grandson. It was the same with Jack's son Gary, who went in the PGA. The pressure of being in Jack's case, it was a son. In this case, a grandson of having that famous a father and grandfather who played golf. 2 of the icons of the sport. It's got to be tough. I'd like to see Sam Saunders. If he won, it would make me happy too.
Well, I'd say if you want to look at the importance of golf outside of our personal Canadianism of wanting Canadians to win, Sam Saunders would be a good one. But even actually the leader, Bryson DeChambeau, would be a good one. Why?
Of course, yeah.
He still is kind of a polarizing figure in golf world. He's different. He's unorthodox, out of the box. He's talked about a lot, whether it's dealing with rules, the way he plays. His uniqueness of how smart he is. And so actually be good for golf if he can get on track. And if he can win some events, maybe leading into the British Open, create some buzz around him, and maybe get a major somewhere soon where he can now be the talk and kind of go forward. he's a guy that regardless of how many wins he'll have, he'll get attention. So it's better if he can get the attention along with winning. At one point early in the year, he had 3 wins in like 6 events. So now one of them was not an off week, but it was an early event in October in Las Vegas where not a ton of guys were there. Now Spieth and Fowler were there, so there's names, but it's not a big event. And then obviously a European event and one overseas. So it was 3 wins and 6 starts. They weren't the majors, and they weren't the the big events like the Genesis Open in LA where everyone shows up.
You still got to win though.
They're wins though, and they create buzz. So can he create some more buzz around himself? We talk about 3 weeks period where guys play great.
Amazing.
Can this be the start leading into the British Open? The odds are he plays this week, probably heads over to Britain. Maybe plays the Scottish Open, but if not, gets prepped for the British. So can he win going in? That would be great. He's actually, if you cared about golf, Hadwin's not the guy. He's only Canadian golf.
And he's also 30.
And he's 30. But it's DeChambeau or Sam Saunders. Sam Saunders is the heartfelt story of Arnold Palmer, who obviously has passed, I think now 2 years. Hard to believe, but it'd be his grandson, which would be great. Or what would really be best for golf is still a guy who's in the talk all the time, getting more wins and adding to his name, which would be Bryson DeChambeau. I'd like to see him win. He continues to be a media mogul and a very interesting guy. And like I said, the more he can win, the better, I think, for golf.
Well, I think you're right. He has the skill set, and he has the age on his side that we're looking for. We're always talking about who's next Tiger, who's next Jack. The golf needs that next guy, and so far there's been these spurts. Jason Day for a while, then Spieth was there, and Thomas was there, and they were getting there. Now it's Brooks is there, so we need some real starters, but they all get there. And then they kind of back away. I mean, Tiger was number 1 in the world for like 15 years or something. I can't remember the number. But we need that kind of greatness in golf. We've talked many, many times about every sport needs an icon. And golf doesn't have that today. So we're looking at all the young guys, someone to step up. But even DeChambeau, as you said, like 3 wins early, and then they fall off the map for a while. So good to see him back. Hopefully, as you say, we know that golf runs in 3 or 4 week patterns when they get their real confidence going. And the swing's working, all that. He's within range of the British Open. We need some guys to win the majors without a doubt. We want it to be Rory. He's the furthest ahead in majors. Spieth is always good. Brooks is good, except he's got to develop his personality. But as we go to the British Open, we want to see some of these guys winning the next one. We need someone to take a run even at Tiger, never mind Jack, even to take a run there. So we're looking for a guy like DeChambeau. He can do that, and he's quirky. Mm-hmm. And quirkiness brings lots of stories about the game, and golf always needs exposure. Always. Yeah, exactly. Golf is, for a number of years in the regular public, obviously, has soared in the PGA level, but in regular public, golf has been backing off as a sport. We need someone to break out like Tiger. He grew the sport enormously when he was at his best. Yeah. People play golf because Tiger, and we need somebody like that. So a couple of good cheering stories, at least at the top. DeChambeau would be good for golf. Saunders for his grandfather, Hadwin for Canada. So it's a pretty good leaderboard going in.
Now, here's my one fear again, and I've said this kind of quite often, is golf has not been exciting this year. We've had great winners, just not great finishes. Tiger with the Masters was great. Brooks at the PGA was great. They just haven't been very close, and even Gary Woodland at the U.S. Open was great, but that wasn't really close. It was close for like a second, and then it broke away. And that's been about a lot of tournaments this year. It's weird because the year before was all these record amount of playoffs, close finishes. This year has been the year of runaway winners. Well, DeChambeau has a 4-shot lead on 3rd place, 2-shot lead on 2nd place. He can easily go put a 6 under and easily run away with this thing. I hope it doesn't happen. I still hope he wins, but I hope we can finally get one of these close finishes this year. And
I do like a course where they can go low. This is where you can catch up, right?
Hey, man, they've had low scoring tournaments. Even last week, 2nd place 1,800 with the winner at 25. Yeah. It's just guys are getting hot and they're running away. It's unbelievable that it has not been a close finish. I don't even recall a playoff. I'm trying to think real fast here. I just honestly cannot remember one. And there just hasn't been many exciting finishes, especially recently. And even when you get close, it's for like a brief second, and both times they pull away. Yeah. Ches Reavie's win, Keegan Bradley got within 1, and then all of a sudden Ches Reavie had a 3-shot lead going to 18. So I just hope we have a good finish. Lots of great storylines. Those 3 together, close near the end, would be awesome on Sunday.
Well, and the other thing about Hadwin, his coach used to be your coach, and so it was nice to be involved there. And then he got too busy with PGA guys, and now has moved on. Hadwin is a key client, so it'd be nice to see Ralph Bauer get a win with Hadwin as well. And so it'd be exciting. So anyway, we're looking forward to the weekend. We're hoping it bunches up at the top. We'd like to see exciting Sundays, at least Saturdays. That's okay, but we wanted to get close going into Sunday, so we have an exciting final round on Sunday when we're watching some pretty great golf. We've talked about the guys we'd like to see there. Tony Finau, please, man, win. You have so much talent. I can't. It's a good thing I never bet you, but I cheer for you every time because I love to see you do it. Anyway, that's what we're doing. PGA going on the weekend. Watch if you can. We'll be back on Monday morning to recap.
Yes, exactly.